What's happening, YouTube? Cowboy here, and we are back with another Daily Heroes vid, and today we're going to be taking a look at a split push Zagara build. So you don't see split push Zagara very often, mainly because she is so dominant in teamfights and devouring Maw as such a incredibly powerful teamfight ultimate. But despite that, split pushing with her is quite effective. When done correctly, you can easily outsiege Azmodan, Murky, Abathur, all the very siege-focused specialists. So we're going to run through our talents real fast. We go Corpse Feeders, Envenomed Spines, Ventral Sacs, Nidus Network, Mutalisk, Brood Expansion, and then lastly, Broodling Nest. Now, there are a couple nuances to doing a split push build with Zagara. It's a little bit trickier, in my opinion, simply because of the fact that you have to be a lot more aware of your surroundings. You have to have good Nidus placement, and on top of that, your team has to manage without you. So Tomb of the Spider Queen, a little bit small for my tastes for a solid split push build, but regardless, I think it'll still go well. In general, I like really good wide maps, stuff like Sky Temple and Infernal Shrines. Those are probably my two favorite for a split push build just because they're huge. But you can make it work on some of the smaller maps. Obviously, something too small like Haunted Mines, it's not going to go very well though. Anyway, it looked like we had a pretty decent team at the screen. So we'll see what the other team has. Another very important thing, probably the most important thing in doing a split push build in my opinion, is letting your team know ahead of time. So which I'm going to do right now.
Be of use. Agreed. Let us show these fools the fury of the swarm. Battle begins in 10 seconds.
Anyway, but the main reason for letting your team know is, in short, if they don't know that you're going to do a split push build, they're going to expect you to show up at team fights. And then that's obviously not going to happen, and they're going to be very upset. So, in short, just letting your team know ahead of time that you're going to do a split push build will allow them to plan accordingly. Obviously, as Stitch has pointed out, this is a rather small map for it, but we're going to make it work. We're going to show that it can be done anywhere. So for our first talent, we took Corpse Feeders here mainly because we're going to have those up, and they're going to be doing the tanking on the towers for us. And having that 30% reduced non-heroic sources damage will allow those roaches to get up there and really tank hits from the forts and the towers, soak up ammo. And on top of that, because we're going to pick up Ventral Sacs at level 7, it's just going to be a nice synergy between them. So right now we're just doing a little bit of harassing here on this Stitches. He's trying to tank the Hydralisk, which isn't a very good idea. Oh, a very good hook though. I got to give him that one. Be careful here. Get this regen. Actually, I want to get a little bit more vision here. That way, if Valor, someone tries to swing up top, I'll be ready for her.
As you say.
Just barely getting that gem. Looks like he just hit his fountain. I think it's time for me to hit the fountain as well. Now, the downside of this build, obviously, you don't have as much of a team fight presence. I mean, you can still be in team fights, but you're not going to have the super Hydralisks. You're not going to have Maul, which is devastating in team fights. So you need to play it a little bit more cautious because of that, but it can still work very well, especially being able to just jump into fights fast because you have your Nidus. So, don't be scared to get in and do some damage, but the main focus here is going to be splitting and forcing the enemy team to rotate constantly to deal with us. Which, considering they don't have any real strong wave clear here, they got Stitches, Diablo, Lili, Kerrigan, Vala. That's not, it's just not a solid comp for them to deal with what I plan on doing. So as for the level 4 talent, this one is probably the, I won't want to say most controversial, but you have your most choices here. And I did try out both Infest and Medusa Blades, and ultimately what I ended up with is I felt that, you know, while Medusa Blades is going to let us clear the waves slightly faster, we have our Roaches plus Banelings, plus we're going to have Mutalisks, so ultimately I feel like we're not going to need that extra AoE. And on top of that, picking up Envenomed Spines, you know, that's a 100% benefit move. And what I mean by that is, you know, every time we attack, we're going to see the benefit of Envenomed Spines. Whereas with Medusa Blades, we're only going to see that against multiple targets. So that is the main reason for why we've decided on one over the other. Stitch is barely escaping there. That's fine. I'm pushing him out. That's all that I need to do. Looks like he hit his fountain. My fountain's coming up too. Like, I don't even need it for life. I just need it for the mana. You know, Stitches mentions it. Turning in would be a good idea. Let me get a 15 in real quick. Hang out here for a second. Grab that globe. Go back up top now. Can't catch me. Oh, the jukes are real. No, fatty. You can't do that. I mean, even with the split push build, Zagara is so disgusting on this map. Just the awareness you get from having out those, you know, having out your creep. That is huge here. I'm gonna have to go back and get mana soon, though. I want to see us get a turn in on the 13 gems first. Be a little bit better. Getting the turn in. Nice, okay. Alright, so at this point we're going to go get mana. And this will probably be the only time we really have to hearth back. You know, because after this, good chance we'll be at level 10. And then once you have Nidus, you have basically the best sustain in the game of any hero. So we're going to be using these back alleys right here. These back parts. That's where we're going to be doing our split pushing from. We're almost there, baby. 2 levels, and then the fun begins. Get all up in everything here. Yeah, get that good Baneling. So we got a good opportunity to push here. No one's up here. They're focusing on the team. That means I can just go completely ham right now. Get tons of damage in. And also get a creep up here. I want to spread it around. As I mentioned, I plan on pushing from over there. Another big thing, focus fountains down. Enemy teams that don't have fountains don't survive. It's a great way to knock out, you know, you remove the sustain of your enemy team and your whole life gets a lot easier. Don't think I'll be able to kill it off here. It'll be close. I should back up. I'm being greedy. I'm being greedy. I'm being really greedy right now. With the Roaches and the Hydra, will it be enough? It will not be. Oh, so close to getting that keep down. Or the fort, excuse me. I think the first one is a fort. I think the second ones are keeps. Well, we're going to kill it right here, though. Nidus time. So, the general rule of Nidusing is that you have 3 types of Nidus. You have your base Nidus, which is this one right here. You have your safe Nidus, which would be one we're going to have like right back here in our base. And then we have the advanced Nidus, which is the one that's right up close to where we want to be pushing. So right now, we're going to jump up. We're going to take out this tower. Oh man, that did not. Why is it spitting me out on the wrong side? That's terrible. We came in, we dropped our abilities, and now we're hopping out. And that's the basis of Nidus play. You know, you're going to go in, you're going to get the damage in real fast, and then you're going to immediately get out. And the benefit of this, obviously, is that, in general, you really shouldn't die. And as you can see, we got really nice XP contribution, solid siege damage already. Actually, I'm going to go top. I'll focus on taking out their guy. So we're going to make a safe Nidus that'll be one we put right here. It's pointless hitting that monk. I'm going to focus on this. And that monk is annoying. Put a Hydra on him. There we go. Team made it over. Stop the blast. Now, when you first get your Niduses, you do have to play a little bit cautious, only because it's going to take some time before, you have a minute on them, on the charge. So it's going to take a little bit of time before you can have a safe, a base, and 2 advances. So obviously, you only really need 1 safe at a time, and that's one that you want to have, back behind a gate somewhere that you can retreat to if need be, or get yourself back into lane if need be. So right now, we're not doing too much splitting. We're going to also keep putting down creep constantly, because that's going to give us the vision that we need to get our Nidus. Alright, now this is a proper advanced Nidus. Now, the main thing behind an advanced Nidus is, as you can see, it's within walking distance of where I'm at, so I can very easily get to it. Like, your advanced Nidus should always be on the screen with you. You want to be able to get to that Nidus immediately, so that you can quickly jump out when you see enemies coming. I'm probably getting a little too aggressive with my advanced Niduses, but we have a very solid lead right now on them. I did manage to get some creep up there, so I will be able to jump back over there shortly and start working on that top lane again. I also have Mutalisks now, which are huge, because the Mutalisks will add into our AoE. We're going to get a little bit more creep. Get some creep up there. Get the roaches up. They're going to start tanking. And we're going to do some work up here while the team is fighting. Focusing very strongly on the push. If I see the enemy team starts to pull back, I'm going to immediately jump into that Nidus and get out of here. There's stitches. I got to wait for the hook. Oh my god. Yo, how did he not stop me? Oh my god. And that's what's so powerful about Nidus. They just had a 5-man. Like, oh man. I kind of feel bad for him, to be honest. Like, they sent their whole team up there to kill me, and I was just like, nope. And even though the rest of my team is fighting with 4, the big benefit here is, constantly having this XP contribution coming in. And on top of that, having the really strong push is making sure the enemy team is pressured. They can't really afford to ignore my team because they're going to steamroll. And on top of that, it's a real pain with what I'm doing to their base because, I'm just all up in their stuff. Just constantly laying down pain onto them. So we're going to get another advanced Nidus up. And in general, you really want to just get in, get your abilities down, and then get out. Right now I know 2 are dead, so I'm being a little bit more aggressive with my push. But we are going to pull out momentarily here, probably right after this Mutalisk comes off cooldown. Now I'm killing it. It's going down. We are pushing. We are pushing all the way, baby. Alright, so now I am going to retreat real fast. Just go back and get more mana.
Without question.
Like, and you can see this. Like, look at this. We're 12 minutes in. 80,000 siege damage. 12 minutes in. 13,000 XP contribution. And a 5-level lead. Like, that is brutal. Like, I really wanted this game to last until level 20, so that I could get the Broodling networks. Not to forget the Broodlings, because those little guys are brutal. Not the Broodlings, yes. I'm thinking Banelings for some reason. Sorry, Stitches. I gotta go. And we're gone again. And I'm don't think he doesn't know that I have the Nidus up there. That's good.
The fittest shall survive.
Can actually pull back, turn in, got 24 gems.
We move.
This next push will probably be the end, so I won't really get to do Brooding Nest, which kind of sucks, because that move really does make this build gorgeous. So just to elaborate a little bit on Brooding Nest, basically every time you exit the Nidus, it's a 20-second cooldown, you're going to spawn 6 Broodlings, and the Broodlings are basically like hyper-powered minions. They're pretty potent, like enough that they will significantly add to the push. So the main trick with it is, with an advanced Nidus, obviously I'll jump into the Nidus real fast, and then immediately jump back out, and that would spawn a wave of the Broodlings, allowing them to get up and start pushing. Another big thing is obviously keeping count of your Niduses. You can only have 4. So like right now, we have our base, we have our safe, we have our advance. The bottom advanced Nidus is gone. So because of that, we can go ahead and just put one in the base here. But keep that in mind. If you retreat and your advanced Nidus doesn't get destroyed, then you could end up accidentally overriding your base Nidus, which that obviously would suck. But pretty brutal game there, 18,000 experience, 115,000 siege damage. I was only involved in 2 of the takedowns, but that experience gain plus that siege was a huge boon, giving my team a very, very strong XP advantage. But either way, guys, that is how you do a split push Zagara. Like I said, main points here are to make sure you inform your team. As you saw, letting them know ahead of time. My team played very, very well as a group of 4 together. And on top of that, it basically opened up room because the enemies had to focus on them, allowing me to jump all over the map. On top of that, the other big things to remember are, of course, your Nidus placement. As you saw, I did have a couple of very close escapes there, especially the one where they sent the whole team after me. But I did manage to get out. So all in all, not too bad, not a single death. Of course, just to go through the build we used one more time: Corpse Feeders and Venom Spines, Ventral Sacs, Nidus Network, Mutalisk, Brute Expansion, and then you would do the, I always forget what it's called, Broodling Nest. But either way, that's going to be it for this one, so make sure to tune in tomorrow, and we will catch you guys with another daily HOTUS vid then.